going on, Jerome? So I know that we're waiting on free agency and the draft, and we have this mini interregnum of a dead news period, but I love this story. I do, because it's such a nothing burger, and it's just fantastic. So Alex Boone, former Vikings offensive lineman. If you haven't heard of him, he played for the Vikings for one season, 2016, after he signed a 4-year, $26.8 million deal. Didn't quite work out. He played a year for the Vikings, was not very good. Also, it's like a kid. It's like a 6'8" kid got a Steve Hutchinson Halloween costume for Halloween. That's what he's doing. Or he's LARPing, live action role playing Steve Hutchinson, because 76, not so much. And he was in training camp with the Vikings 2017, got cut when he wouldn't take a pay cut. So there you go. But Alex Boone has been doing some good media stuff, has a podcast called the O-Line Committee, talks about football and all that nonsense. And I get what he's doing. So Boone, during his playing days, wasn't afraid to talk about himself or make a stink with the media. Like he will say what's on the top of his mind, and I get it. Like, if you want to make it in the media, you got to say some shocking things sometimes. And he said, again, this is such a nothing burger that we almost just put it in the news dump, but this is so funny to me. So Vikings fan page compiled this. Former Vikings offensive lineman for a while, Alex Boone, on Kirk Cousins taking Tuesdays off. Again, this is a story that is from last fall, when the Netflix documentary came out. So, all right. So, this is what Alex Boone said. Quote, "I was really offended when he said that. I think everybody on the team was probably like, this is bull bleep." So again, the reference is Kirk Cousins. During the football season, he would take Tuesdays off. Now, the thing about it is, it's not that big of a deal, and also, he's not alone. Whether it's a regular player, whether it's a quarterback, most players do take Tuesdays off, because if it's a normal Sunday to Sunday schedule, Mondays you'll come in, you usually get a lift in, maybe get some maintenance done with the trainers. Tuesday, usually the same thing. But if your game is on Sunday, you have 3 days of practice. Wednesday is the first day of practice, install day. Then you practice Thursday, Friday, usually a walkthrough. Saturday is either off or a travel day if it's a road game, and then Sunday you play. That's it. That's it. And the whole thing about it is, like, people clutching their pearls, like, oh, Kirk takes Tuesdays off, that's why he can't win the big one. I would understand it if Kirk was a quarterback who is known for being unprepared. That's never been something that's been said about Kirk Cousins. It's ridiculous. And like we said, most players do have Tuesdays off. Like, maybe they'll stop in the facility, get a lift in, get some dip into the cold tub or whatever. But a lot of times, like, when players are going around doing charity work or visiting hospitals and stuff, it's on Tuesdays, because that is generally their day off. I mean, Mondays they'll come in and watch film from the the horror show Disaster, what happened on Sunday. So Tuesday is generally the only day off that players have, absent some Saturdays when it's a road game. So it's not a big deal at all, even though it did spawn one of our favorite memes. Kirk goes gone with the wind. Right. And of course, Mike Florio, it's not a thermos, criticizing Kirk for taking Tuesdays off. And also, Kirk took his family to a Twins playoff game on a Tuesday. It's like, oh, don't you want to be great? Please. With the wind. That's right, man. So again, that's the background on that. And the whole thing about Alex Boone too, he was never teammates with Kirk. And when he was talking about where did we go? There we go. So he was talking about, I think everybody on the team was probably like, this is bull bleep. There's only 2 players currently on the Vikings, or were on the Vikings in the 2023 season, that were ever teammates with Alex Boone. Danielle Hunter, Harrison Smith. And I feel like those guys are super chill, super whatever. All right, so the whole thing about, first off, Alex Boone was only teammates with 2 guys who are currently in the locker room. Second of all, he was only in the locker room for 1 season. And so he's like speaking for everyone. It's like me speaking for the Asian people, all 3.5 billion of us. As the Asian delegate, we draft the Wu-Tang Clan or something like that. So it's ridiculous. And what's even better, so Josh Metellus chimed in. Josh Metellus has been talking about starting his podcast. He needs to. He's going to be fantastic at it. And so he just claps back with one word, cap. Which, as the kids say, mean fictitious, false. Lies. All right, so obviously, the locker room is cool with it because guess what? They get Tuesdays off too. And they're probably off doing their own thing. They're off, visiting children's hospitals and doing some charitable work and all that stuff. It's not that big of a deal. Also, I mean, if you got families, the football season is a grind. You don't really see your kids, especially on the weekends, especially when you got road games and stuff. So having some quality time with the family on Tuesdays, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So again, this was such a non-story when it came out, when the documentary dropped. Even though Florio, not a thermos, trying to make it a big deal. And again, this is such a peak sort of dead period story because it's a flash in the pan offensive lineman who got a nice payday too, by the way. Just talking out of the side of his mouth about a news story that happened 11 months ago that no one cares about. But it's still so damn funny. And I just love Metellus from the top rope. Cap, it's a Michigan man right there. That's right, man. That's right, baby. But your thoughts are thoughts. Alex Boone was offended when Kirk Cousins says he takes Tuesdays off, even though they all do. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.